Java or .NET object in MyBatis. On Java or .NET object. Java object. A Java object is a member, so-called an instance of a Java class. .NET object. An object is an instance of a particular class. As an example, we can consider this one. A Java bean could be mapped to a result set just as easily as the hash map. Here you can see user. As example 2, we can consider this one. This is an .NET object in .NET platform. The result class is class.name or alias. We are now considering a results map in map.xml file. Such a Java bean could be mapped to a result set just as easily as hash map. Here consider the following Java bean. Based on the Java bean specification, above class has three properties: ID, username, and hash password. These match up exactly with the column names in the select statement. Such a Java bean could be mapped to a result set just as easily as hash map. Now we are considering advanced result maps. MyBatis was created with one idea in mind. Database aren't always what you want or need them to be. While we have allow every database to be perfect third model toward normal form or BCNF, they aren't. It would be great if it was possible to have a single database map perfectly to all of the application that use it. It's not. Result maps are the answer that MyBatis provide to this problem. For example, how would we map this statement? You would probably want to map it to an intelligent object model consisting of a blog that was written by an author and has many posts, each of which may have 0 or many comments and tags. The following is a complete example of complex result map. Uh, uh, Assume author, uh, blog post comments, tags are all type aliases. Uh, have a look at it, but don't worry, we are going to go through each step. While it may look daunting at first, it's actually very simple. Here the very complex statement. It's a very complex result map. The result map element has a number of sub-elements and a structure worthy of some discussion. The following is a conceptual view of result map element. Result map, here they are constructor is used to used for injecting result into the constructor of a class upon instantiation. Here ID argument flagging result as ID will help it improve overall performance. If we have args, a normal result injected into constructor. ID and ID result flagging results as ID will help improve overall performance. The result, a normal result injected into a field or Java Beam property. Association, a complex type association, many results will roll up into this type. Nested result mappings, associations are result maps themselves or can refer to one. Collection used as a value to determine which result map to use. Nested result mapping collections are result maps themselves or can refer to one. Discriminator uses a result value to determine which result map to use. Case, a case is a result map based on some value. Nested result mapping, a case is also a result map itself and thus can contain many of this same element, or it can refer to an external result map. Attributes ID, a unique identifier in this namespace, can be used to reference this result map. Type, fully qualified Java class name or type aliases. If you have auto mapping, if present, MyBatis will enable or disable the auto mapping for this result map. These attributes override the global auto mapping behavior default unset. Here a very complex result map here. Now we are considering result map always built result maps incrementally. Unit test really help out there. If you try to build a gigantic result map like one we previously described at all at once, it's likely you get it wrong and it will be hard to work with. Start simple and evolve it a step at a time. And unit test. The downside to use frameworks is that they are sometimes a bit of a black box, open source or not, your best bet to ensure that you are achieving the behavior that you intend is to write unit test. It also helps to have them when submitting bugs. Now we are considering ID and result. These are most basic of result mappings. These are the most basic result mapping. Both ID and result map a single column value to a single property or field of a simple type, integer, double, date, etc. Only difference between the two is that ID flag the result as an identifier property to be used when comparing object instances. This helps to improve general performance, but especially performance of caching and nested results mapping, that is join mappings. ID and results attributes, each has a number of attributes. Property, the field or property to map the column results to. If a matching Java Bean property exists for a given name, then that will be used. Otherwise, MyBatis will look for a field or a given name. In both cases, you can get complex property navigation using usual dot notation. For example, you can map to something like username or to something more complicated like address dot number. Column, the column name from the database or aliased column label. This is the same thing that would normally be passed to result set.get string column name. Now we are considering supported JDBC type. Here we are considering enum constant public static final JDBC type bit. This is in the class enum class JDBC type, which is in the package apache.ibatis.type. Now we are considering constructor. MyBatis searches a constructor declared with 3 parameters here: javalang integer, javalang string, and javalang and int in this order. While properties will work for most data transfer object, DT or type classes, and likely most of your domain model, there may be some cases where you won't use immutable classes. Often tables that can contain references or lookup data that rarely or never change is suited to immutable classes. Construct injection allows you to set values on class upon instantiation without exposing public method. MyBatis also support private properties and private Java Bean properties to achieve this, but some people prefer construction injection. Constructor element enable this. Consider the following constructor. In order to inject the result into the constructor, MyBatis need to identify the constructor for somehow. The following example, MyBatis searches for the constructor declared with 3 parameters: java.lang.integer, java.lang.string, and int in this order. When you are dealing with the constructor with many parameters, maintaining the order of the arg elements is error prone. Since 3.4.3, by specifying the name of each parameter, you can write arg elements in any order. To reference the constructor parameters by their name, you can either use @param annotation to them, or compile the project with dash parameters compile option to enable use actual param name. This option is enabled by default. The following example is valid for the same constructor even though the order of the second and third parameters does not match with the declared order. Java type can be omitted if there is a writable property with the same name and type. The rest of the attributes and rules are the same as for the regular ID and result elements. Here the column name from the database or alias column label, this is the same string that would normally be passed to result set.get string column name. Java type, a fully qualified class name or type aliases. MyBatis can usually figure out the type if you are mapping to a Java bean. However, if you are mapping to a hash map, then you should specify the type Java type is explicitly to ensure that desired behavior. Name the name of the constructor parameter. Specify the name allows you to write args element in any order. Association. The association element deals with the hash1 type relationship. The association element deals with the hash1 type relationship. For example, in our example, the blog has one author. The association mapping works most likely any other result. You specify the target property Java type of the property, which MyBatis can figure out most of the time. JDBC type if necessary, and a type handler if you want to override the retrieval of the result values. Where the association differs, that you need to tell the MyBatis how to load the association. MyBatis can also do two different ways. Nested select by executing another map test SQL statement that returns the complex type desired. Nested results using nested result mappings to deal with the repeated subsets of joint results. First let's examine the properties of the element. As you will see, it differs from normal result mapping only by the select and result map attributes. Property, the field or property to a map column result to. If a matching Java beans property exists for a given name, then that will be used. Otherwise, MyBatis will look for a field of a given type. Both cases, you can use complex property navigation using the usual dot notation. For example, you can map to something like something simple like username, or to something like more complicated address.street.number. Java type, fully qualified Java class name or type aliases. MyBatis can usually figure out the type of if you are mapping to a Java bean. However, if you are mapping to a hash map, then you should be specify the Java type explicitly to ensure the desired behavior. Nested select for association. The column name for from the database or the alias column label that holds the value that will be passed to a nested statement as an input parameter. This is the same as string that would normally be passed to result.get string column name. Not to deal with composite keys, you can specify multiple column names to pass the nested select statement by using syntax column equal prop open curly brace prop equal col1 comma prop2 equal col2 close curly brace. That this will cause prop1 and prop2 to be set against the parameter object for a target nested select statement. Select the ID of the another mapped statement that will load the complex type required by the property mapping. The values retrieved from the column specify the column attribute that will be passed to the target select statement as parameter. The details example follows this table. Not to deal with composite keys, you can specify multiple column names to pass to nested select a statement by using syntax column open curly brace prop1 equal col1 and comma prop2 equal col2. This will cause prop1 and prop2 to set against the parameter object for target nested select statement. For example here, that's it. We have two select statements, one to load the blog and the other to load the author, and the blog result map describe the select select statement should be used to load its author property. In other properties, all other properties will be loaded automatically, assuming the column and property matches names match. While this approach is simple, it will not perform well for large data sets or lists. This problem is known as the n+1 selects problem. In nutshell, n+1 select problem is caused like this. You execute a single SQL statement to retrieve a list of records, the +1. For each record returns, you execute a select statement to load details for each one, the n. This problem could result in hundreds of thousands of SQL statements executed. This is not always desirable. The upside is that MyBatis can lazy load such queries, thus you might be spared the cost of these statements all at once. However, if you load such a list and then immediately iterate through it to access the nested data, you will invoke all the lazy loads and thus performance could be very bad. So there is another way. Now we are considering nested results for association. Instead of executing a separate statement, we will join the blog and author tables together. The result map, this is the we have already seen a very complicated example of nested associations. The following is far simple example to demonstrate how this works. Instead of executing separate statement, we will join the blog and author tables together, like so. Here notice the join as well as the care taken to ensure that all results are aliased with a unique and clear name. This makes a mapper far easier. Now we can map the results. In the example here, you can see the blog's author. Association delegates to the author results. Result map to load the author instance. Very important ID elements play a very important role in nested result mapping. You should always specify one or more properties that can be used to uniquely identify the results. The truth is that MyBatis will still work if you leave it out, and but at severe performance cost. Choose a few properties as possible that you uniquely identify the result. The primary key is an obvious choice if composite. Here the attribute result map. This is the ID of the result map that can map the nested results of this association into appropriate object graph. This is an alternative to using a call to another select statement that allow you to join multiple tables together into a single result set. Such a result set will contain duplicated repeating groups of data that need to be composed and mapped properly to a nested object graph. To facilitate this, MyBatis lets you to chain result map together to deal with nested results. An example will be far easier to follow, and one follows this table. Now we are considering multiple result sets for associations. A name must be given to each result set by adding a result set attribute to the mapped statement with a list of names separated by commas. Here the column when using multiple result set, this attribute specify the column separated by command that will be correlated with the foreign column to identify the parents and the child relationship. Foreign column identify the name of the column that contains the foreign keys, which values will be matched against the values of the column specified in the column attribute of the parent type. Result set identify the name of the result set with where this complex type will be loaded from. Starting from version 3.2.3, MyBatis provide yet another way to solve the n+1 problem. Some databases allow stored procedures to return more than one result set or execute more than one statement at once and return the result set per each one. This can be used to hit database just once and return related data without using join. In this example, the stored procedure executes the following queries and returns returns two results. The first will contain blogs, and second contains authors. A name must be given to each result set by adding result sets attributes to the mapped statement with a list of names separated by commas. Now we specify the data to fill the author association comes in author's result set. Now we are considering collection. The collection elements work almost identically to the association. In fact, it's similar to a document. The similarities would be redundant. So let's focus on the differences. To continue with our example here, a blog had only one author. But the blog has many posts on the blog class. This would be represented something like here. To map the set of nested result into a list like this, we use collection element. Just like the association element, we can use the nested select or nested results from a join. Now we are considering nested select for a collection. So you could read the following mapping like this. Let's look at using nested select to load post for a blog.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
There are a number of things you notice immediately, but for the most part of it look like very similar to association element we learned above. First, you will notice there we are using the collection element. Uh, 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 um, when you know then you will notice there's a new of type attribute. This attribute is necessary to distinguish between Java bean or field property type and the type that contains type that collection contains. So you could read the following mapping like this here. Read as a collection of post in an array list of type post. The Java type attributes is necessary. Java type attributes is really unnecessary, as MyBatis will figure out for you in most cases. So you can just shorten this down simply like here. Now we are considering nested results for collection. Now mapping a block with its collection post mappings as simple as here. By this point you can probably guess how nested results for a collection will work, because it's exactly the same as association, but the same addition of type attribute applied. First let's look at the SQL. Again we have joined the block and post tables and have taken care to ensure quality result column labels for simple mappings. Now mapping a block with its collection of post mapping is as simple as here. Again, remember the importance of ID elements that are here, and read the association selection above if you haven't already. Also, if you prefer a longer form that allows more user reusability of your result map, you can use the following alternative mapping. Now we are considering multiple results for a collection. The name must be given to each result set by adding result set attribute to mapped statement with the list of names separated by commas. As we did for the association, we can call the stored procedures that execute two queries and return the two results sets, one with blocks and another with posts. The name must be given to each result set by adding result sets. Attribute to the mapped statement with all list of names separated by commas. We specify the posts collection to be filled out of data contained in the result set named posts. Note there is no limit to the depth and breadth of combinations of the associations and collections you can map. You should keep performance in mind when mapping them. Unit testing and performance testing is your application goes long way towards the discovering the best approach for your application. Nice thing is that MyBatis let you to change your mind later with very little if any impact to your code. Advanced association and collection mapping is deep subject. Documentation can only get you so far. With a little practice you will become clear and very quickly. Now we are considering discriminator. For example, here sometimes a single database query might return result set of many different but hopefully somewhat related to data types. The discriminator element was designed to deal with this situation and others, and including class inheritance hierarchies. Discriminator is pretty simple to understand as it behaves much like switch statements in Java. A discriminator definition is specified column and Java types attributes. The column is where MyBatis will work for the value of the to compare. The Java type is required to ensure the proper kind of equality test is performed. Although string would probably work for almost any situation. For example, here in this example, MyBatis would retrieve each record from the result set. And compare its vehicle type value if it matches to any discriminator cases, then it use the result map specified by case. This is done exclusively. So in other words, the rest of the result map is ignored unless it's extended, which we will talk about with extent. If none of the cases match, then MyBatis simply uses result map as defined outside of the discriminator block. Now we are considering auto mapping. In the following sample, ID and username columns will be auto mapped and hashed underscore password column will be mapped. As you already seen in the before, in simple cases, MyBatis can auto map the result for you. And others you will need to build a result map, but as you will see in here now, you can also mix both strategies. Let's have a deeper look at how auto mapping works. When auto mapping result, MyBatis will get the column name and look for the property with the same name, ignoring case. That means that if the column name ID and the property name ID are found, MyBatis will set the ID property with the ID column name. Usually the database columns are named using uppercase letters and underscores between words, and the name properties often follow the camel case naming. To enable this auto mapping, between them, set the setting map underscore to camel case to true. So here the mapping here going there, and this one. Auto mapping works even when there is a specific result map. When this happens for each result map, all columns that are present in the result result set have not manual mapping, will be automap. Manual mappings will be processed in the following sample ID and username columns will be auto-mapped here, and hash password column will be mapped. There are 3 auto-mapping levels. None disables auto-mapping, only manually mapped properties will be set. Partial will auto-map results except those that have nested result mapping defined inside joins. Full auto-maps everything. Now we are considering type aliases in configuration. Annotation interface aliases, the annotation that is specify alias name. This is in the package org.apache.typebatis.type. A type alias is simply a shorter name for Java type. It's only relevant to the XML configuration and simply exists to reduce the redundant typing of fully qualified class names, for example here. With the configuration, block can now be used anywhere. Domain blog could be. You can specify a package where MyBatis will search for beans, for example here. Each bean found in the domain.blog, if no annotation is found, will be registered as a alias for alias using uncapitalized non-qualified class name of the bean. This is domain.blog. Author will be registered as author here. Simple with simple author like here. And if alias annotation is found, its value will be used as an alias. See the example below here. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.